answer period, and their podcast will be up on their site, which they'll get once we get on, and it'll be up on Saratoga's broadcasting site as under Talk Saratoga's podcasting too. So stay with us. All right, CD1.
Yeah, that sounded good, but I'll wait till these guys talk
Yeah.
so I can make sure their mic's working.
All right, CD1. Is it playing, Nancy?
No.
All right, CD1. CD1 is on. Come on.
Yeah, Rick, you might need the tech monkeys sooner than you
Okay,
think.
all right,
You
it's
got
not
it?
coming on. All right, that's okay. Okay, well, that was the opening, and we have a Saratoga All-Star with us today, and that's Nancy Muldoon. So we're glad Nancy's with us, and we have a great show this morning for you. Tech Monkeys is a computer business that started in Saratoga the first of the year, I think it is, and I want to introduce Chris Piant and Vince Vicario. Pretty close?
Close enough.
Okay, close enough. I want to reiterate again for those who was listening to the opening and didn't hear. You're going to be on the show every other Saturday to do a 15-minute question and answer, and that will be from 8:45 to 9:45. So I want to thank you for volunteering to do that.
Yeah, Rick, that's nice, and we thank you too.
Yeah, that's great, Rick. We'll be
Oh.
looking forward to doing that for people.
Yeah, no problem. We're joined by a Saratoga All-Star today, one of our Saratoga All-Stars, Nancy Muldoon. Morning, Nancy.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Chris and Vincent.
Good morning, Nance.
Hey, good morning.
Okay, and she meant to say good morning, Rick. She called me Chris, but I think that's okay. I answer to anything.
It's still really early.
So
Yeah, it's still early.
Yeah, it's still
I need more
early. I know. We're followed by a 3-hour polka show, and when I was telling you when I did the radio station for 8 years, we had a 9 to 10 hour, which is a little more with it, but we do okay. Guys, I want to just ask you the first question: is how you got together?
Okay.
That's a great question. Go ahead,
So, so both me and Vince met at a big box store, and we were working there, and we were seeing how customers came in and they weren't happy with the final result when they left the store, or they came in for appointments ready to pick up their PCs, and they weren't done. So me and Vince started talking, and we said, hey, we can do better. We can make this, an awesome thing in Saratoga. That we seen a need for it.
Yeah.
It's a mobile business. It's right now. It seems a lot of our clients seem to like that, us coming to their house or their business. So back to where we got together and met. So after a while, I came up with the name Tech Monkeys. Talked to Vince about it. He liked the name. So I'm the CEO of the company. He is my senior tech engineer. He's awesome at what he does. He basically he can
You guys do websites and stuff too, right?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Okay, and also like say I don't have time to bring my computer to you, or I don't have time to meet up with you. Can you do stuff remotely?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's one of the main things that we do is instant remote connections. We can come into your computer, we can fix just about anything remotely unless we actually have to physically swap hardware, physically install parts, things like that. Anything else we can do from just about anywhere we are. I can even do it through my cell phone at this point.
What about phones? I have a lot of annoying pop-up ads on my phone. You guys
That's-
take care of that stuff too?
That's a great question, actually. And yeah, we're actually Apple certified iOS technicians. So we are very well versed on that. We do battery replacements, we do screen replacements, troubleshooting, reset. If you're locked out, we can restore it. Backups, you name it, we do it. Cell phone is no different than a mini laptop.
Okay, good. That's good to know. Very good to know. If you have any questions for these guys, you can call the WSPN studio here at 91.1 FM. Phone number is 518-580-5783.
I want to go again, and we may double up a little in questions, so don't be upset. And I think it always helps to kind of.
We're like the two easiest going guys in the world.
I know
that's
you look
true.
at. You look at your approach to your business.
Proactivity.
Definitely.
Proactivity.
It's all about being proactive. We're basically a managed service provider, is what it's called.
Okay.
Obviously, we will go in and do one-time fixes for people if that's what they're looking for, but we try to be proactive with our clients. We try to get them on services where we are constantly monitoring them. Managed antivirus. If there's a threat, we're going to know about it before they do. Same thing with backup solutions. Very important to us that we're ahead of the game. We want to be proactive so that we avoid problems that are going to be costly for our clients.
What about distance? Like how far will you go? I know you're primarily located in Saratoga County, but how far will you go?
Right now, we have basically a 25-mile in any direction of Saratoga that will go without any issues. We'll go further if we have to, but there will be some travel charges involved.
Okay. One of the other things, do you charge for a home visit? Let's say I called you and, because I do have some pricing to go over with you.
Yeah.
You have a great website, by the way.
Thank
If
you.
anybody goes to their website, you can find out pretty much 99% of what you're looking for to have these guys come over.
Yeah.
The other
Tech-monkeys.com.
the other 1% is that you have to pick up the phone and call them.
Yes, if anyone would like to check out the website, and Vince created that, so we do offer those services too. So if you take a look at it, it's very clean, very organized, very easy to read, and that's how awesome Vince is.
I'll
Thank
give
you.
out the website, and then Nancy can give out the phone number.
Yeah, and you can also
H.
contact us by email, you
Sure.
can contact us by phone, you can even set up appointments right through the website.
Excellent. The website is https://tech monkeys.com, and that's a great name.
Yeah, it's a name that I came up with. As I was working in the big box store. I kind of looked around. I felt like I was back and forth doing this real fast back here and there, and I felt like I was a monkey. So
Who did the graphics, Chris?
So a buddy of mine his name is Ralph Bennett. He did the graphics for
Yeah,
us.
it's a cute little thing.
When we first started out, he had a kind of a mean looking gorilla face.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I was kind of like thinking of that, and then I said, "Oh, I better not do that. That's not good. I need to have a smiling, happy face.
Yeah,
someone
that works better. I
that someone
think,
can
Chris.
relate to.
Yeah.
The only thing we use the mean gorilla for is our managed antivirus because we want to make sure people know we're serious about stopping threats.
Or you use the mean gorilla if somebody doesn't pay.
That's
Tech
pretty funny.
Monkeys.
Yeah, yeah.
Their number is 518-450-8635. So if you're having some computer or phone issues, give these guys a call. And their website is tech-monkeys.com.
Yep, it can also be reached at support@tech-monkeys.com via email.
Yep, I think there's one more number on there, Nancy. that they can reach us. We have 2 numbers.
Yep.
Oh, okay, I see. It's also 518-430-8653.
Yep. 8635 or 8653.
Excellent. So what other kinds of stuff do you do? I know that you say, it says on your brochure, home theater. Now what does that entail?
Well, it entails, anything that involves surround sound, mounting of TVs to lighting, running the wires.
Also, smart home,
Yes.
which is definitely the wave of the future. Going forward, we're probably going to see anywhere from 15 to 30 wireless devices in just about any home over the next 5 years. It's just the way it's going. So smart home is going to be where it's at, and we're already up to speed and ready for that. So, when people are looking to upgrade their homes, play music just by saying play it, all those kind of things, we're ready for that. Control the lighting, control the boilers, control the heat, control everything.
And, so back to the home theater, we want to provide a, theater-like experience in your home.
Yep.
So when you're sitting there and you're watching Star Wars or, some grand movie, you feel like that you're right there.
Yeah, and we know how that works. We make sure you get the right size TV in the right spots. Everything's cabled properly, neatly. Wires aren't showing. That's what it's all about.
Now, I have 2 questions I want to ask you and talk to you about. The second one's probably going to be a little more detailed, and I think it's relatively new that I've been hearing, but can you access my computer remotely? Like you can. So if
Absolutely.
I have a problem and I want you to check out, you can access remotely.
Yeah, we actually have a partnership with ConnectWise for our ticketing, to keep track of everything that's going on with everybody, make sure we're updating everybody on a daily. When you have something going on with us, you're going to hear from us every day.
Good.
Even if nothing's happening, if we made small progress, you're still going to know about that.
So you keep up with the latest. And,
Absolutely. Most MSPs do use a ConnectWise solution, so we're using basically the same thing, and that also comes with Screen Connect, which allows us to connect very easily. We give you a web link, you go there, you put in the code, we're in. Simple as that.
That's great.
Yeah.
The next thing I want to ask you about is you hear more and more about this, I don't know, I guess in the last 6 months. And it's, I don't remember the initials, but I know if you ever hear a Norton advertisement, they say for only $3.33 a month you can get, it's a virtual whatever. What can you talk about that a little bit? I mean, is it worth not the antivirus, because you can buy this product yourself, but is it worth the cost of it? It's not really expensive. You can get $50 a month or whatever.
Right. Well, let's first talk about Norton's.
Okay.
All right. So Norton's that started back in the 80s,
Right.
90s, right? They were real popular then.
Yep.
Well, Norton's is a resource hog, okay?
Yeah.
It takes up all your resources on your computer,
It actually slows you down.
and it slows
Yeah.
you down.
Yeah. There's a lot of antivirus programs like that. Also, they conflict with each other. If you're running more than one, your computer's probably going to crash.
Sure. No, I happen to use WebRoot.
Well, that's what we use.
And you
Exactly.
use that
That's-
too.
We can
Okay.
Yep.
talk about that. That's
we'll
exactly
talk about that
what,
after.
Yep.
But this.
Our WebRoot is different though because it's a managed solution versus
Okay.
just buying a copy of WebRoot.
Okay.
You can go out and buy it, but then it's on you to make sure it's up to date. It's on you to make sure it's scanning, it's working. What we do, you don't have to worry about any of that. We handle it all.
You do.
We do.
Okay.
So what was the question on the Nortons?
Well, and it's not only Norton, because I went on to see maybe adding it on my computer, and you can buy, there's different brands you can buy from anywhere from
Sure.
$50 for 1 year, $90 for 2, but it bounces your IP address around the world, so nobody, Google, how they get a hold of you when you
You're
get
talking
on.
about VPN services,
VPN,
basically.
that's it.
Yep.
VPN. What about that? Is it worth having it on, or?
It all depends on, what kind of data you're trying to protect and what you're doing on that network. If you're out there trying to do things you shouldn't be doing, like pirating movies, pirating music and things like that, and you don't want your ISP saying, hey, you can't do that, You're going to want to spoof your IP address. You know, there's a lot of different reasons to do it. If you're trying to protect your data, because the bottom line is everybody has an address, just like a mail address. It's your public IP address. So if someone gets a hold of that and they're maliciously looking to get into your network, if they have the public IP, they have a starting point. They know where you are. Now they just have to get past your firewall or any securities you might have in place. Whereas,
is that relatively easy to do?
no, no, you'd have to know a thing or two. You know, we're
It's
talking about
yeah.
hacking now.
But it's easy for someone that knows what they're doing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, now, I think on most people's laptops, every once in a while, I know on mine, it will ask me, update stuff or skip this action, and I never know quite what to do. I always feel like, is the computer tricking me into pressing a button I shouldn't press? What should be my course of action here?
This is a tough question because, you know, I have to answer it two ways. I mean, first thing is yes, of course you want to be up to date on your updates and things like that as much as possible for security reasons. You know, when your computers gets out of date, you are more susceptible to what we're talking about, hacks, things like that, viruses. However, you know, a lot of companies, when they put out updates, they're not thoroughly tested, they're put out quickly, and sometimes the update itself will be the cause of your problem. And that we see a lot.
Also with programs or it could be an update too that you download, they could have a little small box that's checked, right, saying you're going to download this file.
Yes.
Also, so they're tricking you. You're thinking you're downloading, but you're actually going to be downloading 2 files, and then the next file is going to be malware or a virus.
Yeah, they'll always try to throw extra programs in there
Or
because they're being
yeah.
paid by those companies to push their stuff.
Yeah.
Huh, okay, like,
So
for
you gotta be
example,
careful.
yeah, for
You have to
example,
have, you have safe practice.
I'll give you a good example. When you go and install a free copy of Adobe Reader, for example, they're going to ask you right away, there's going to be 2 check boxes to install Chrome or to install something extra or a McAfee antivirus, something like that. And most people won't notice it because they just kind of next through those things. And the next thing you know, you've got 3 or 4 programs on there that you didn't ask for.
right, it's interesting that you mentioned John McAfee, because John McAfee has already said he's no longer affiliated with that company.
That is
He sold
correct.
it for millions of dollars.
Yep.
And I listen to a lot of alternative radio, and he says just stay away from it. It's bad news.
Yeah, and another thing I want to add on that with the antivirus specifically is, the deal is this: when an antivirus becomes number one, people that are looking to hack and cause problems and drop viruses and Trojans, they know what people have. So, like Norton, for example, is number one for 3-5 years straight, whatever it is. Now, everyone knows how to crack that program. They've already found their ways around that engine. They know how to get in. So, having the number one antivirus sometimes is detrimental because that's the one the hackers are looking to crack, because that's the one everybody has.
Gotcha.
So, the bottom line, though, is WebRoot is much different than the others. It doesn't conflict with other antiviruses. You don't have that issue. It's been about, 3 to 5 years now that they've pretty much been on top, and they've stayed there. I don't see anybody being able to crack it the way they're able to crack the other ones. You could see that for yourself. If you have a computer, you have an antivirus, chances are you're still going to get a virus at some point. It's going to say, I see it, but I can't fix it.
Right. What
You
about
know?
as a writer, I do a substantial amount of research, and I Google a lot of stuff, and I'm looking up things now. Sometimes something will come up as you look up a website, and it will say not secure.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What should be my course of action here? Should I just close that page?
It does depend. There are a couple different messages with that for different reasons. If it's just a security certificate thing, sometimes it'll say the security certificate's not valid or not current. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to a bad place. It just means the person who puts out that website didn't want to spend the money to update their stuff, or they may not even realize that's happening. Whereas there are other warnings where it will tell you straight out, this is a possible phishing site. This is a possible malware area. Do you sure you want to do this? Firefox specifically does that if you're using Mozilla, and it will always warn you, hey, are you sure you want to go here? And, if you know where you're going and it's safe, it's fine to go ahead, click advanced and say, yeah, proceed. But, if they're giving you that warning, you might want to think twice, because they're telling you that there are things embedded in that web page that could be harmful to you.
Well, I know WebRoot will always come up and say, this page contains a threat.
Absolutely.
Back up safely, and it'll give you the backup. But I want to go back to a previous question I asked, because I didn't exhaust the topic, but I wanted to, and I didn't quite you know, I don't quite understand it still. The virtual,
The VPNs.
the VPNs.
Virtual private network,
Right.
basically, is what that
Um,
stands for.
Now, I was hacked with that Equifax breach that a couple of years ago.
Mm.
My social security number got out on the internet, and I know there's a class action suit
Sure.
out on them because that's not what they're supposed to do.
Identity theft is huge.
I used to be a credit collector. I had my own business, and I know part of the deal was that they only you had to sign a statement that you wouldn't give out people's social security numbers, yet the company ends up getting hacked when they should have all kinds of protocols in place.
That's,
where you do
that's
that.
correct, yes.
So I had to get a program that monitors the web, LifeLock, I think it is.
Sure.
And you know, I have to pay for it. And
Absolutely.
I keep threatening. I call Equifax and I keep threatening that they're going to pay for it. But
LifeLock is worth paying for if you're in a situation like that, because if anybody does try to use your information, you're going to be notified.
well, yeah, I get notified that you know, my name has come up in the dark web,
Sure.
and you may want to check and see what it's about. But with the virtual program, I mean, like an idiot, I keep all my passwords and credit information on my cards that I'm using in PayPal with the password in a Word program on my computer.
Right, you have it in a document.
So
that's not
I know,
good.
and look, I know you're shaking your head, and believe me, I don't like it myself. I've got 19 pages of information, but so would a program like that protect me somewhat, you know, for that purpose? I know hackers can get around anything.
Not necessarily this, because what happens is this: when you, let's say you have an internet connection in your house, like most people have, your public IP address, that's like your mailing address to
Right.
the internet, it's pretty much fixed. Especially if you have a static address in the business, it's never going to change.
Right.
So a lot of businesses need static addresses so that they can connect their different sites to each other without the addresses changing.
Sure.
So, you know, I do a lot of global networking, so this makes perfect sense to me. I'm trying to explain it in easy terms.
Sure.
But the fact is your public IP address will be changing on a regular basis, and it will be redirected. So when they do try to trace back to you, you know, and there are a lot of trackers out there. You know,
Yeah.
there are a lot of things hey, click this link, it's a picture, and you click it, next thing you know, they've got all your information.
Yeah, that,
You know,
and then they sell it to
absolutely.
Right,
other
that's what they do.
companies.
That's
I mean,
exactly
I think
what they do.
Google's probably the worst.
Oh yeah, they hide it in a tiny URL so you don't know what you're clicking, and that's
Now,
it.
do you have a recommendation for a program that's better, or can that come up on another show?
NordVPN would probably be one of the top ones that you'd want to look at.
Nord?
N-O-R-D, Nord.
Yeah, oh, Nord, okay. Because I feel that I have to get something with the information I keep on my computer, because
Sure.
some of it is business related.
Yep.
And, you know, I mean, I was even questioned because I know they bounce all over the place, you know, in Europe and Russia and all that. And I
Yeah.
was contacted by Mueller to see if I was one of the Russian hackers
No
in the
collusion, no collusion.
Donald Trump campaign. So, you know, I told him, no, I have this program. I'm going to get this program, so don't worry about it. All right, so it is good
Yeah.
for if you keep the information
Yeah.
on my computer like I do.
Well, I can
I
explain
mean,
a little deeper if you want. I mean,
Go ahead.
it's
Yeah, I
basically
mean-
called information hiding. What happens is that one address that the internet sees for you,
Mhm.
I mean, you can have 100, 1,000, 500,000 computers on that network. It only comes up as one to the internet.
Okay.
That's called information hiding. That's where your firewall comes in. They don't see how many devices you have, none of that. They just know that's your address. What's in that house? Who knows? We got to get in and see. So that's what information hiding is about. It's about hiding your network behind one public IP, no matter how many devices are behind that IP. However, you know, if they track your IP, they're going to know what area you're in. They're going to know exactly where you're on, and then they can have something to target. If they can get through your firewall, they're going to see it all.
Sure.
Now, the thing is this. You know, like I said, that's the way it's going to work. Now, if you're using a VPN, a private VPN type setup, what's going to happen is when they track you, it's going to show them that you're coming from somewhere completely different. Maybe China, for example. They're going to say, oh, yeah, this guy's in China. You know, they don't know because you're being redirected through other
Right.
people's servers, and that's the way that works. So
Yeah.
there's really no way they can pinpoint your location.
Okay.
That's what it comes down to.
Just Nancy has a good question for you, but just before I let her have it, and I'm going to let her have it too. Now we talked about security programs, virus programs, and I used to have Bitdefender. Now somebody told me that Bitdefender went way down in the rankings because a lot of these programs, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, are created over in Europe, like in Hungary or Slovenia.
Many are.
Right, and you got to be careful the one you get, and you should ask a pro
Yeah.
to give you advice on what program to have. And I was having some major problems with Bitdefender.
With Bitdefender.
Now I know they were good when I first started using it,
Yeah.
and they may still be good. I don't know, but I was directed to WebRoot.
So as you know, Rick, you can't believe everything you hear, right?
That's true.
That's right.
So one prime example of that is Kaspersky.
Kaspersky.
Okay,
Yep.
right.
Kaspersky.
So they're a good antivirus program, but they got shunned out of
Yeah.
working, especially in the big box stores. They dropped them.
Yeah.
And rumors were out there that
It's run by hackers.
Yeah, Russian program.
Just because a Russian
it was
company
even on the
bought
news. Don't buy it.
Right.
It's Russian, and and there's nothing wrong with the
There's
program.
nothing wrong with it.
And there's-
Nothing wrong with
No,
it.
and there's
No.
no hackers with it. It's legit.
Yeah.
So that's I guess social media at its finest.
Yeah,
Sure.
but the big box stores use that to their advantage.
Sure.
You come in with that program on your computer, they can say, "Oh, you got to get rid of that right away and buy our stuff."
And what's the name of the program again?
Kaspersky, which was
Okay.
actually one of the larger companies that made antivirus products for quite a while. They were on top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question. Sometimes I go to the library and use their computers, and if I'm looking up my email on their computer,
Sure.
automatically on my phone it will pop up and it will say, "Are you signing in as this person?" And
Gmail
of
definitely
course-
does that.
Yes, yes, and that's who does it. And obviously I click yes, but I noticed the other day when I was driving, I have my phone in the little cradle thing, and while I was driving, that same pop-up came up. It said, "Are you signing in?" And I'm thinking, I'm not signing in as anything. I'm driving. So does that mean that someone's trying to hack into my email?
It's quite possible, but it's also very easy to go in and look at the login events and see exactly what location they're trying to log in from. When Google sends you that email, you can actually review activity, and it'll tell you, this is coming from Pennsylvania, or this is coming from California.
Okay,
this
because
attempt.
as soon
You
as
know
I
it's
saw
not you.
it while I was driving, I just clicked on no.
Right.
No, I'm not
Right.
trying to sign
Right.
in.
You definitely pulled over and clicked on no, right?
I did pull over, yes. Thanks for
Pulled over first.
Chris, yes.
Hey, you're listening to WSBN.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
91.1 FM Skidmore Radio.
I don't wanna
If
get
you'd
a
like
ticket.
to call and ask a tech question, you can tell we're having a blast here, and we're learning a lot. You can call in at 518-580-5783, 518-580-5783, and if you're listening over in a foreign country, well, just listen to your radio or on the internet. But Nancy, you'll probably want to expand on that, or do you want me to go on
You
mine?
go ahead, yep, go ahead.
All right, I have a question for you, and it kind of piggybacks on Nancy's question about, them asking a question and down the line you get the same message. You go into a store today, and you leave the store, and about 15 minutes later it'll say, "How was your experience
Oh,
at
yeah.
the store you were in, such and
Yeah.
such?"
Huge.
Yeah, huge. Is there any, how can I say that, invasion of other things on your telephone that they could get into? Or is it just concentrated to the store you've been in?
I don't like the fact that they're tracking.
I don't either.
And I mean, I know it's an advertisement to try to get you into the store, or just to track what stores you've been in, so they can check when's the best time to run sales and whatnot. But I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
You don't like? I mean, you don't like it, you turn your location services off.
Yeah,
Simple
That's
as
true.
that.
but I'm sure
That's
they
true,
use
Vince.
it too.
But how do you do that?
Right through the settings on your phone.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Well, actually, if you pull down, depending on the phone, I mean, on an Android, you just pull the top down where the Wi-Fi on and off is and all that, Bluetooth on and off. You'll see something in there for location.
Okay.
Good to know.
Because what they can do, I think, is I don't know if they can find your email address with that, but I'm sure on your phone you'd get advertisements now from them, because to track you they have to have some way to know who you are when you walk out that store.
Yeah.
So I just dislike that. I hate getting
I agree.
a text right after I get out of the
Yeah.
store.
How was your visit at Home Depot today?
Yeah.
I know.
Just another thing you got to delete.
Yeah, really. I
Yeah.
know. Well, you said it the best, Chris, that when you want to protect yourself, read the whole. If you download something, read the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
I find myself doing that also. I check the box. I agree, because they make them so long in such small print that you think, well, if I go through this, I'll be tomorrow.
No one ever reads terms of service.
No.
No, and at the very bottom there'll be something there, and if you don't uncheck it, it's going to install, and then now you got it. Now you got that program.
Yeah. Something else that you'd mentioned, Rick, I just wanted to add on to.
Sure.
Actually, no. I'm sorry. Go ahead with the next one.
No.
That's going to come back to me in a minute.
Okay. Now I do that all the time. That's why I write cryptic notes down there.
Actually, no,
And
I
then
know what I was gonna
forget
say.
what the note says.
I know what I was going to say. We were talking about bigger companies, where the thing that people don't realize, a lot of these companies are collecting your data for a reason, and that's to make money. And you don't think that a major corporation, billion-dollar corporation, would do something like that, but that's how they got there in the first place.
Sure.
If they have thousands of users and they know your names and your email addresses and everything else, they will actually marketing is huge. That's where the money is. So companies want to know, how do I reach your people?
Right. Even if
And-
they get 20%
Absolutely.
back.
So
Right.
the data's being mined by a lot of companies.
And let's face it, electronics going into the future here, technology, it's going to be just like that,
Yep.
and it's going to keep going. So
Yep.
that's why, we have to protect ourselves.
Absolutely.
Safe internet browsing, put protocols in place.
Yep. Security is important.
Have,
Top importance.
have tech monkeys, be there for you, so that we can help set you up, so that you don't run into these problems.
Yeah.
What I was
Proactive.
going to say.
Proactive monitoring.
Yeah,
That's where
what
it's
I was
at.
going to say was the one thing that impresses me with you two, not because you can beat me up, but Chris, you had said you worked for a big box store, and that's a little impersonal. I mean, you may have been the best repair guy, but there are parameters that you had to follow, I'm sure. Well, the one
Correct.
thing I like about Tech Monkeys is the personable attitude that you have. I mean, just by talking to you two, I feel that if I called you up to come to the house, or you get into my computer, that I would have the utmost faith that you two would be there for me, not to try and. If you tried to sell me something, I would say they're doing it for my protection, not to make a sale. And I think
That is true.
if people know that,
We're only going to sell something to you that you're going to need, and it's going to make things work,
Yeah.
or it's going to protect you. We're a
We're
caring
all about
company, and and when we do a job, we want to make sure that the job is correct and done the right way.
Yep.
And if not, and something happens, we're going to be right there, right back the next day to fix it.
Best possible solutions at the best possible prices. That's what we're all about. We want our clients to be happy. That's the whole point.
And I think it's more important than ever now, when you're hiring a small business owner, you're really hiring somebody local. and it helps your local economy. It helps everybody. You know,
Absolutely. And you know, it's important to customer service to us because we do understand from everything that we've seen and everything that we've been through that, you know, you could have 100 people happy, and that's great. You get that one person that isn't, you're going to have them telling another 100 people not to work with you.
Well, they always say, and then jump in, Chris, okay? And then
Yeah.
I'm giving it back to Nancy because she's given me a fist. No, I'm only kidding. But I find out in some of the businesses I've been in, and even the radio station, the better you treat a customer and the more honest you are and the more faith the customer has in you, that's the best form of advertising you can have. And I think
Absolutely.
you just hit on that. But it's amazing what that can do. I mean, that's worth more than putting an ad in the paper.
Word of mouth.
If you right, and like you said, if you have one bad experience with and it may not even be your fault. I mean, you know, the saying "the customer is always right" really isn't
Right.
true sometimes.
I mean, you know, nobody's perfect, but you know, if there's an issue, we're going to come back there and fix it.
right.
I think most people can differentiate between honest reviews and reviews that are just sort of scathing, scorch the earth type. I think most people, I think, who are savvy customers, no matter what they're buying from, are able to really, you know, I read reviews online? Sure I do, but I can also read in between the lines. Just like with restaurant reviews, nobody is really that good and nobody is really that bad. You know, it's probably someplace in the middle. So I think, and going back to that John McAfee, he was saying on, I listen to Coast a lot. It's an alternative show that comes on very late at night, and he was saying that regarding laptops, even if your laptop is open and your computer is off, according to John McAfee himself, he said that you can be recorded, and he said never to have your laptop open in your bedroom or, you know.
You're talking about
how true is
people
that?
remote viewing you through your webcam? Is that what you're
Correct.
getting at?
And he said even if the webcam is off, it still can be accessed and you can still be recorded. How true is that?
You want to take this one?
Well, anything's possible, and I see people that have black tape covering their camera, or
Yeah, I've done it.
yeah, you know, just to be sure. I mean,
Let's just be clear that if there's no power to your computer and it's completely shut down, no one's going to be looking through your webcam. That's
yeah,
one.
it's just not going to happen.
Two, you know, that's one thing. And the second thing is, if someone did want to remotely view you through your webcam, it would take someone that's targeting you with a hell of a lot of skills.
Guys, you just blew my movie making because I've got a lot of movies out there of people looking at me. So we're going to take a short break so that we can regroup here and for your listening pleasure. So we're going to play a little ditty. So stay with us.
So why would John McAfee say that?
Awesome.
That's a good question. If there's
I
no
mean, he's
power
like-
to a
I mean, he's like
device, you're not going
Steve
to be able to
Jobs
use it.
And Bill Gates put together with a little rogue, you know, he's pretty rogue,
I mean,
but
if it's shut off.
If there's no power to a machine, it's completely off. You're not going to be able to do anything.
I mean,
You know,
what about these phones?
they-
Are they really recording
That's different.
everything we say? Even if it's off?
Yes, the government does record every phone call, and they're all screened for keywords.
Right.
They do it for terrorism reasons.
Now, you know,
Okay,
I
what
heard...
about landlines? Were they
Same
recording
thing.
were they recording us when we had landlines?
Yeah, well, I don't know